your toxic traits are actually the exact opposite of your love language. So, for example, not asking for help, acts of service; isolation, quality time; avoidance, physical touch; not asking for help, which is so me with hyper independence, acts of service is my love language.
Today's video is very triggering to myself mostly because I am calling myself out in this video, but I'm not doing this so that I can self-deprecate myself or, embarrass myself, something like that. I am doing this so that I can help another one to see where the trouble is, probably find a way of the root cause of whatever they're going through and embark on a journey of healing that thing. Because most of the times we are healing ourselves, especially for us who are not able to afford therapy, and you're doing it all wrong. It's like we're just band-aiding the wound, but then we're not looking inside and cleaning and trying to understand what exactly is causing the wound not to heal. And yet we've been here so many times. We've been here dressing it for the longest time. I really go big for others. When someone needs me, if it is in my capability, if it is in my capacity, I go all in. I drop everything and go to rescue them until it's my time and I don't know how to ask for that help. And I was trying to understand, why is it so hard to just get my phone and ring someone and be like, I really need help right now? To stay to a point of breaking the lowest of points for me to say, I need help. And my eye sockets are really dry. Are they sockets or what? Because I was really interested in knowing why that happens, and it happens always. Even when I decide I'm not going to do this again, I'm not going to repeat this, I'm going to start asking for help. When need comes, I don't know how to do that. I don't know genuinely how to do that. There are a couple of things that emerged, but we have one interesting thing that really caught my attention. And the thing is this: what if every single time I want help, like really so bad, I'm crying inside, I am hoping that someone is going to look at me and think, oh my goodness, we are missing the point, she's really in need, yet I don't say it? How about deciding somehow, consciously or unconsciously, to be quiet about it? Satisfies a part of me. There's a part of me that gets satisfied, and it proves to myself I have the power to get myself out of any ditch, no matter how deep, no matter how dark it is. I know. I had the same reaction the minute I looked at my findings, my realizations. What if that is true? I am hoping that this video reaches therapists, psychologists, and they tell us if somehow this could be true. Because I don't understand how I go so hard for every other person but myself. Why is it that I don't ask for help? And there is this excuse I've always given. It might be true because I have proof of it. I don't think I would get help if I need it. Because I have asked for help when I needed it, I never got it. So somehow that programmed my mind that nobody's there to help me. It's me against the world and I'm all alone. But that is not true, because I also have proof on the other side at times that I really direly needed help, and I asked for it and I got it instantly, immediately, without questions. I got it. So out of my many realizations, I don't want to share them. This one really caught my attention, and it is the one that I want us to discuss today. And if you feel the same, please do not hesitate. This is an open forum. Let's talk about it in the comment section. Consider subscribing and becoming part of this beautiful community that we are building. Back to the video. What if every time you need help and you decide, consciously or unconsciously, I choose not to ask for help, is satisfying a part of me that either feels little, invaluable, insecure in some sort, and so many other things? What if that is the reason I don't ask for help? Because I know people who, in my case, I'm talking about myself, I know people that if I just give them a call and tell them I am in need, they are going to drop everything to give me that help. They're gonna do it. I know people. I have proof of people who are going to show up for me. And healing is such a humbling and a beautiful practice that I want all of us to really take part in for us. Imagine the many times I've denied myself the chance to get help when I could have gotten it instantly. And also, denying myself the chance to get help makes me program my mind that I don't matter, that I am not valuable, that I am not lovable, that I'm not important, and so many other lies that I took from a tiny age from my traumas as a child, grew up with, and I'm still enabling them. I'm still giving them voice. I'm still giving them a platform. I don't know if you can feel the depth of this conversation. I wish I had a therapist here to explain this to us word by word, step by step, why we do it, even though we know it is not right and it is all lies. It's not like we are not lovable, important, valuable. Somehow we still go ahead and enable it, give it a voice. I wish we had a therapist who could explain to us in depth and in a language that each and every one of us could understand, so that we could get it and get it right. And please, if you are a therapist or you're not a therapist, how about you talk to us? Talk to us. If you want me to invite you, I'm going to do it gladly, because these are conversations that we need to hear more and more often. The best I can do is get this conversation outside there and share my thoughts, share my realizations and such kind of things.
I'm giving so much to the world, and like, when am I gonna make it to the other side? My friends are always like, man, you're so positive, you're this great person, you're this and you're that, but I'm dying on the inside.
You have related giving in your performance to what it is you think life is supposed to give you. The relationship that you had in those romantic relationships 9 times out of 10 mimics the relationship that you have with your caregivers, which means you got used to performing and being a good kid so that I could be safe, taken care of, loved, or seen. And so you created this story that I have to be good, and if I'm good to them, they'll be good to me. But that's not how life works. You have not created a nurturing relationship with yourself because you probably did not have a nurturer. Who allowed you to be a little girl? You gravitate towards relationships where you're probably the one doing the stuff because you're a giver without boundaries. A giver without boundaries is $1 million home with no security system. So even though you're a grown woman and you can take care of yourself, do you give yourself permission to feel how you feel? Acknowledge the emotion. Do not judge yourself for the emotion. Become curious about how you feel. Love on yourself for how you feel. Unapologetically remove people who constantly threaten your sense of safety. Become the mother I did not have so that I can properly mother my kids.
I want you to start having these kind of moments with yourself. The next time you are anxious, maybe at that moment you won't even think about that. But when you come back to the house, when you are back in your safe space, how about you ask yourself, what was happening back there today? What was anxiety trying to protect me from? Because anxiety, it's a way of your body trying to protect you from certain sort of danger. It is trying to show you that you might die. You're going to embarrass yourself if you say that, if you act like that. And that is the most tragic thing you could ever do to yourself. And instead of you doing that thing, which makes you human, which makes you beautifully imperfect, you decide to stay in your cocoon, in your safe space. If it's something that you were supposed to talk about, you decide, oh my God, if I say that, what are they gonna think of me? Oh my God, this is so embarrassing. I really can't. First of all, I want you to ask yourself, when and where did you learn that from? I was a child, and every time I tried to say something, I was told, shut up. Or people would normally continue with their stories and nobody would even say anything about me. Nobody listened to what I said. So I learned that my voice is not important. Or when I said something at a certain age as a young child, people used to laugh at me. People used to mock me. People used to boo me. And I learned my voice is not as important. Oh my goodness. This is so liberating. You're going to give yourself so much grace than you've ever done before. The relationship between you and yourself is going to be massively improved. This is, I have been doing this lately, and it's the most present thing and the most precious gift I have started giving to myself. I ask myself, why do other people's opinions about my life and about how I run my life matter so much than my own? Why is it that I decide to shut my inner child so that I can be loved by others? When did I learn that, and from who did I learn from? Because sometimes it's not even from our first primary caregivers. Sometimes it's from our first lovers. Sometimes it's from the people that we interacted with, maybe in school. I'm learning that some of these things we picked not from our parents, not from our primary caregivers, but from the environments that we consistently put ourselves in. If it's in school, you were booed every time you stood up to say something, and so you learned to keep yourself small, and that's why you're so shy. That's why you have social anxiety. That's why you don't like talking, and you call yourself introvert. Hello, honey, you're not introverted. People made you become silent. It is people who forced you to silence your voice. I don't know if we are all feeling, because I'm literally getting goosebumps, how eye-opening it was when I was having that introspective moment. Instead of beating yourself up, instead of shutting your emotions every time they come, if it's anxiety, if it's overthinking, I want you to give yourself grace at that moment, because most of the times at that moment we're not thinking straight. But I want you to try as much as possible. Just remember I, myself. Remember my voice. Let it ring in your mind every single time you are in a situation. Just take a deep breath and stay in that moment. Don't, if it's anxiety, for a minute, be in that moment. And someone is going to tell me, oh, I'm in a meeting. Where do I get the time to be in that moment? You can take a pause. Just take a pause and tell them, you know what? I know you're trying to protect me right now, but honey, we are not in danger. Thank you so much. You can take the back seat. Allow me to drive this car for now. And there's a conversation I wanted to have with my boss the other day. Not the easiest of conversations. And every time I thought of how I was going to ask, it's like my lower abdomen was literally taken out of my body, and my knees gave away, and my heart palpitation tripled, and the rest of my body goes cold. And that was even at home, when I just thought tomorrow I'm going to be having this conversation with my boss. And then when that time came, I remember thinking, this is the time and this is the day. I cannot let this day pass. I have to deliver this message. I have to have this conversation today. And I felt that same feeling. I've never felt it before. I felt it. And all I did was this. What am I scared of? Why is it that before I could have any kind of conversation with whomever, but now all of a sudden I'm so scared? I'm beyond scared. I'm petrified. It's like I'm dying. It's like my life is going to end at this moment, right now and right here. What is it? What is it? It occurred to me that it was the fear of how that conversation would turn. The questions, I would literally have conversation in my mind. I'm thinking, this is what she might say. Oh my God, do I have an answer for that? And then after that, she's going to say this. And then what? And then after that, she's going to, oh my God, are we ready? How are we going to do this conversation? And I told myself, give yourself the chance to marvel, to fumble, to fret, to be human. I literally went to the washrooms, looked myself in the mirror, and I had a conversation. I told myself, if you prepare, you're even asking ChatGPT a possible kind of conversation trail, how it might go. If you prepare, you're trying to be perfect. And then I asked myself, where did I learn the art of perfection from? Where and when? And I could see it right from 1 year old. Since the day I knew I was a human being and I was born, I was in a foreign land, perfection was part of me. I was born, and the minute my cord was cut, I was handed over perfection. I was told perfection is part and parcel of your life. That has been my life. And I live in so much fear. My things cannot be done anyhowly. They have to go in a certain way, and they have to be of certain standard. And if it's not like that, then that's failure. And we cannot do. In here, we don't know anything else. It's either perfection or we are not doing anything. I had this for almost like 7 minutes. I had this conversation. And finally, I asked myself, would you rather cower, allow anxiety, allow all these fears that you have win, and go home without fulfilling your goal for this day? Is that what you want? Because you're scared to speak up. What would you rather do? What is best? What would the little you want to hear? If she was in this position and she wanted someone to speak up for them, what would she want to hear? And that is the only thing that gave me the courage to go and have that difficult conversation with my boss. And so I'm learning that sometimes it's not about what we're not getting or why we are not getting what we want or need when we need it. Sometimes it's us. We abandon ourselves. We don't love ourselves. We critique ourselves. We hate our lives. We hate ourselves. And we really treat ourselves in the worst of ways. I want you to sit down and ask yourself, when did you abandon yourself? And you're waiting for the world to choose you. OMG, look at me. Why can't anyone save me? I am always saving people. I'm always showing up for people. When people need me, I'm the friend that people need. But I am the friend that don't have friends. Excuse me? Is it that I am the friend that don't have friends? Or is it that I've given people the chance not to be my friend when I need a friend? Or is it also because I have not given people the chance to show me they could be a friend when I need a friend? This was such a beautiful conversation. I'm really enjoying this conversation. I wish I had a co-host, but it's okay. It's not about what everybody else is not doing for you. That's the painful, the bitter truth. It's not about others not showing up for you like you want them to show up for you, or like you show up for them. It's about why you're not showing up for yourself like you want others to show up for you, so that they can show up for you like you want them to. Like, for instance, I know I really shun people out of my life. I just go silent. I don't answer phone calls. I don't answer text messages. I disappear. I dissociate completely. It's like I have vanished. And when people call me, I don't return that call. And when I am in that good, a good decent moment again to have my phone, I don't give an explanation because, well, it's my life. But is it? Am I in control of my life, or am I being controlled by my traumas and all other things that are bad for myself, bad for my life, bad for my nervous system and emotional being and everything about me? Is this video eye-opening? Please, let's all flock in the comment section and let's have this conversation, because, well, it's not an easy one. If you are like me, that you show up so big for others, and when it's your turn, either they show up lesser, don't give as much effort like you do, or they don't at all, and you start feeling bad and you start saying that people are bad, fake people. They are, people are just bad people. I want you to ask yourself, I am asking myself right now, why do you go so hard for others? What is it that you're trying to feed? What is it that you're trying to satisfy? And I know I'm not alone. And I got to a point, I started giving people 100%, not because I wanted or I expected when it's my turn they're going to give me 100%, but because that's what I would rather do for someone that I care for, that I care about, for someone that I love. And that is so freeing. It is so liberating, knowing that even if they never show up for me ever in my life, even for one time, I'm cool with that. Because the minute you show up for people and you expect them to show up for you when you need them and they don't, you start building up resentment. You're resentful. You start hating them. You start disliking them. You're going to find yourself pretty much gossiping about them and smearing people that isn't cool at all. You are going to block your energy from attracting good things because you have so much dirt. The energy that surrounds you and that's within you is so dirty, and it is only attracting bad things. So I want you to ask yourself, why do you show up for people like you do? And someone is going to tell me, it's people pleasing. Why are you people pleasing? And yet you know it's people pleasing. Why are you doing it? It's way beyond people pleasing. Why are you people pleasing? I want you to ask yourself, which part of you really loves to people please, and why does it do so? Let's call ourselves out this time round. Let us make sure by the time we are bringing another generation, we might not get it right 100%, but let us make it right at least for a little bit. Let us make this world a better place. It starts with us. If I don't know what's troubling me, there's no way I'm going to know what is troubling my sister. I will never understand it because I don't know who I am. So there's no way I'm going to help another person know who they are. There's no way I'm going to tell someone else what to do so that they can know themselves. Absolutely not. Which part of you gets satisfied every time you do that? You people please. And why? What is it lacking? Why does it do it? Why do you people please? Let me give an example. Maybe when you were little, your voice was really shattered. People didn't listen to you. They didn't care what you had to say. And so you grew up to save others, to stand up for others, to show up for others. Not because you care. Caring might really be part of your actions, but that's not the core reason. The core reason could be. I'm not saying it is, but I'm saying there is a chance, there is a possibility that is the reason why you do it. You want to prove to yourself that your voice is actually important. Your voice has an echo. It's not invalid anymore. My parents, my primary caregivers, my guardians made me to shut up. I couldn't speak for myself. When I was a child, I was consistently told to shut up. I was shunned away from standing up for myself, from speaking. I'm going to show you that is not true. So I'm going to satisfy that part of me that was broken as a child, that was pinned down, that no, that was a lie. They are wrong. My voice is actually valuable. My voice is important. I have a voice, and I want to prove you all wrong. Maybe that could be the reason why you want to save others. I want you to look at every single thing, not as a bad thing, but as a helper that is helping you go to the root cause of that issue so that you can heal it. I don't want you to look at it as, oh my God, I'm such a people pleaser, I'm such a big Misha, I'm such a Barbara the Builder, Debbie the Dusty. I want you to look at every little and big trauma that you have as a blessing in disguise. Only this way, now I believe this, only this way you're going to truly heal or come to terms with that if you feel like you can't change it, and show up in the world as better you. And that's why I started my Miss on a Mission channel, because it's all about self-development, it's all about lifestyle, and it's all about showing up to the world as you, authentically and as imperfect and full of flaws as you are. I can go on and on and on until the next 3 days. These kind of conversations, this facet of life is one of my favorite forte. Self-development, that's why I dine, dance, and flourish. I blossom in self-development and breaking the habit of being yourself and becoming the best version of yourselves. We end it here for today, and make sure you stay tuned. If you've not subscribed, once again, kindly consider subscribing and becoming part of this powerful community. And I'm gonna see you in the next episode.